on, guys? Welcome into another edition of my Alone Zone. My name is Chris Strickland, for those of you who do not know. And I'm coming to you from rainy, thundery, lightning, Pensacola, Florida. One of those things where it's hot all morning, and the heat of the day, the thunderstorms fire up. And it's not every day, but most days. Although it hasn't been raining, we haven't had a terribly rainy summer, which really upsets me because that's what cools it down. And it's just been extremely hot this summer, so yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about, just briefly, you know, most of you guys who have followed me for a long time know that I'm into weather, and something's going to happen coming up later this weekend, early next week. Up north at night, it's going to be like in the 40s and 50s, somewhere in there, like upper 40s, mid 50s. And now this is, you know, extreme up north, you know, Michigan, Minnesota, you know, up that area, you know, maybe even upper, you know, Vermont, Maine, those places, Connecticut. But for this time of year in July, you know, that's even rare for them. And the weather is just changing. I mean, it's been hot, but I'm gonna tell you, it's been way worse. This summer's not been really that bad. And I'm actually surprised because the way, like, after last winter, we actually had a real winter for the first time. Well, not a real winter, but a real winter for here. I was like, well, that usually means a super hot summer. And I know summer is technically just beginning, but our summer started back in April. So, you know, it's been warm since then. And yeah, it's not been really that bad. And our fall usually starts late October, so yeah, 3 more months. So, not too bad. So trying to find a place that I can park to where, you know, I'm under a tree enough so where the rain won't come in, because, you know, even though it's not as warm outside, I got no air conditioning, so I gotta roll my windows down, and I don't want it to ruin any of the electronics in here. But I'm not doing a good job, and I failed to bring a towel with me today. So anyways, let's just get into a discussion here. It's a lot of things, you know, on my mind, on my plate, just things I want to talk about. And, you know, most of them are similar, and they just equate to life and the life that I don't know of. Is it because I'm, you know, and I've been told this a lot, but you have to be, you know, driven, and you got to do it on your own. And yeah, I guess that's true. And the strong do survive. I do notice there are, you know, a lot of people, they're able to do it on their own in tough situations, and they fight out of it. And maybe I'm just not at that point, or I just don't foresee me being able to pull myself out of this hole alone. And for those people, I don't understand. You know, I wish I could get a grasp and just interview like 20 people who have been through some tough times before the tough times started. Were you mentally strong? And then the tough times weakened you, but because of the previous mental strongness, you were able to overcome it. For me, I've never been mentally strong, never. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm of the mindset that, you know, I'm smart, I'm educated enough, you know, I can speak, I keep up with things, but when it comes to like motivation, desire, passion, you know, it's easy for me if I have somebody pushing me than for me to do that on my own. And as we speak, water just bounced off the door armrest up into my eye. So that's as real as it gets. But yeah, this thing is just soaked. Even though the rain has kind of slowed down, this thing is just like absolutely soaked. And I got these Bounty paper towels here, and they're pretty strong, but once they get soaking wet, they don't really do much after that. I don't have many more of these. So yeah, Bounty, you claim to be like a towel, but once you get wet, you don't absorb anything else. So you're a liar. That commercial shows you absorbing, and I'm sorry for taking myself out of the shot, guys. I'm just trying to keep up with the drying it a little bit, because it's not absorbing much, but it is picking a little bit up. But the commercials, no, they show these huge spills, and the Bounty gets wet, and they take it and pick up another spill, and it doesn't tear. I'm like, I probably, if I really wanted to, I could rip this, but I'm not putting a lot of strength into it. But as a matter of fact, I know I could rip that. And of course, a paper towel. But you see the guy on the Bounty commercial, yeah, okay. it's all for show. But anyways, just of a weak mind, it's kind of hard to function in life. And you always feel like you need somebody. Because of my, experiences in life, I've never had anybody. And you would think, okay, my grandmother aside, as far as friendships, that never had any. So you would think a guy that's never had any friends in real life, he's used to doing everything on his own, he will be fine. He's used to it. Okay, yeah, but look where it's got me. Nowhere. And it's manifested into extreme major depressive disorder and social anxiety, among other things, and not having nobody, and I'm a firm believer, and I'll say this to my grave, and hopefully I don't die before I experience it. But if I had people in my life, if I had an inner circle of people pushing me, motivating me, driving me, people I can actually see on a day, maybe not every day, but if I could just see people once a week, 2 times a week, hang out like that, and I know that they're there for me, and I'm gonna see them, and there's reason for me to push all my internet friends and all my support with YouTube and everything that I get is awesome. You guys are great, your comments are great, but it would be so awesome just to have that in real life, to have people telling me that in my ear, in my real inner circle. I have no inner circle, I have no circle, it's just me. So, when it comes down to it, and that's why, I am the way I am. I find that I'm the undateable videos, I just don't see me being able to do anything until I have a foundation of people who can get me motivated enough to get some things in order. And I'm not going to be able to do it on my own, because if I was able to do it on my own, I would have already done it. I wouldn't have waited till I'm 32 years old. And it's not to say that I haven't tried, because I have, and I failed, and I'm not good with failure. Failure sucks. I'm not the only one that's ever failed. As a matter of fact, this is going to sound kind of like wacko, and hey, if you want to perceive me as being a wacko, go right ahead, because maybe I am. But the first girl that ever rejected me and started the reason for the dream, a couple years ago I found her on Facebook and I let her know, and she claimed to remember me and apologized and whatever. She really didn't do anything wrong, other than she just said flat out, "I'm sorry, you're just too fat and ugly for me to, to be seen with," along those lines. And I don't think she remembers that, but I do. How could I forget? And they say every man gets rejected the first go round. Okay, fine. But some men want it so bad, and even at 12 years old, I was so mature. I had already started growing a little mustache. The beard wasn't in, but I was very mature for 12. And I equate that to I had to have testosterone shots when I was young, so that helped me to physically mature. I was maturing at 10, really. No facial or anything, but that's when the testosterone shots started. And then 11, the mustache was starting to grow in, and then by 13, I had the beard, and so I matured really young. So I was also, the testosterone shots, I guess they helped me mature mentally too. I don't know, but I was very mature. And I guess the other girl, she's 12. Now, it's not sick when it's just 12 years old. And I'm not thinking that I just wanted a girl to go to the movies with, go to the skating rink with, for the all-night skates. I used to have those every weekend. I went to a couple of those by myself. And it's one of those all-night lock-ins where you go, you get locked in, they don't let you out unless you have an emergency. And those are some of the biggest regrets. Going there alone, seeing all the girls and having no friends, and if I tried to talk to people I didn't know, getting blown off, or no one just really, I was just there for no reason. I was thinking maybe I could meet people. But anyways, back to the story. I just found her on Facebook the other day just to do a checkup. And no, I'm not a stalker or anything like that. I just want to see, hey, how was that first girl that rejected me doing? How is her, life going? She just recently got married. All of her wedding pictures are up there, and I'm not going to give her name out on here because that would not be fair to her. Because really, she didn't know no better, I guess. I mean, to the day I die, I'll never forget, because it was the first, and I can't forget. I can't forget that. Maybe if my memory gets shot, I lose my memory as I'm older. I don't know, but I sent her a message just explaining to her, hey, you don't know me and I don't know you, and you probably don't even remember me sending you a message years ago, and I see that you've got married and everything's going well in your life, and that was my dream, and you were the first girl, and you're the reason why I started that dream. The rejection that you gave me was the reason why I crafted the dream, because I was like, okay, I guess got rejected. I know what I want in life. After waiting all year, building up the courage to talk to this girl and getting rejected like that, That's when I knew, you know what, my dream, that's the only thing I want. I knew that's what I wanted because I worked on it all year and I failed. But I knew what I wanted. She was the reason. I just let her know. She hasn't wrote me back, and I don't expect her to write me back. Her life is going great. It's just seeing that kind of upsets me. It's like, oh, great. There's this girl, married, gonna have a family, so many happy pictures, and me, the first guy, she just really, had she just said no, I don't think it would have affected me as bad as saying, oh, I'm sorry, you're just too fat for me to be seen with. You know, just a simple no would have sufficed. Did she have to say, I'm too fat? Did she have to? So I just let her know, hey, I explained it. Did you have to say that? Could you have just said no? And we're talking something that happened 20 years ago. Do I expect that girl who's had a great, obviously, I can't, okay, I'll tell you that. I don't know if she's had a great life, but obviously she's doing well. She's achieving my dream. She's married. And I just wanted her to know. And so I would love, you know, and this, again, this may sound crazy and wacko and perceive it the way you want. I just want to be in a room with every girl that rejected me when I was young. All of them. Even the women who rejected me in my adult years. I want them all into a room. I just want them to see how my life is. I can't make anybody or force anybody to like me. But the way I was rejected, and it seems like, I'm going to go ahead and say, vocal rejection, the term said back to me. It's like, why? It's like a movie. You couldn't script a movie. These women, the lines that were thrown at me when I tried to approach them, to talk to them. You know what I mean? You can't script it. In various terms, it's either you're too fat, you're too ugly, you know, or something else. You know, oh, you're so unattractive, or I can't be seen with guys like you. You know, or you're a loser. You know, just the way. No knows. And it's not like, you know, I just met the girl. These are girls that I'd, you know, seen around or had been around for some time, and I figured, hey, you know, why not? So I just want to have them in a room and just know why. Why couldn't you just say no, or just not say anything at all? Why did you have to be cruel about it? I would love all of them in there, just to get every one of them's reason. And some of them are definitely not going to remember. There's another, the second girl in, what, 7th grade, because the person was 6. So the second girl, she's married, and she's got 3 beautiful daughters. And I messaged her one time, but she told me, and I kind of knew, I knew something was wrong when we were in high school, and maybe that's why she rejected me. She was mean about it like the other girl was, but maybe she had more of a reason because she was abused as a child, which is sad. And I'm just glad she pulled out of it. Now, I didn't know her personally, but I knew that she was having trouble at home. Father abused her. And when I sent her a message a few years ago, yeah, I also sent her a message too. And I kind of knew, but never had it official. She made it official to me what she had went through. So I'm kind of glad her life is better. You know, that's great for her. But some of these other women, I don't know if they went through it. I'm sure the first girl ever went. Her family was fine. You know, she didn't have any of those problems, or else maybe she would have told me. Not that it was any of my business, but I found it was nice that the second girl responded and explained to me why. Because I kind of in the back of my head, I kind of could tell because I would see her after school, father, and would pick her up and drove a red. It was a red Volvo, a 90s Volvo, 1990, probably 94, 95 Volvo. And I can still distinctly remember it, and she would just kind of like, she'd be sitting there talking to her friends, and when her father would pull up, you could just see her expression just frown, she'd be sad, she really didn't want to leave school, she wanted just to stay, and that's when you kind of know something's going on. And so I never really have no ill will towards that one, but the other ones, I didn't know anything about them, so I really don't know, you know. I just want to know why. And, you know, get them all in a room. Sans the second girl, we know, I understand. But I want the other one's reasons for being cruel and just the way they said it, the way they rejected me. A simple, like I said, no would have sufficed, or no words at all would have been very great to my psyche. But to be told by every girl you have approached in real life in some shape or form that you're ugly, unattractive, fat, yeah, that should have motivated me, right? Not when, all back to the beginning, the mind. When you are a weak mind, those things are just going to make it weaker and weaker and weaker, and it ain't going to get any better. So, yeah. Oh, well, you know, I've been spouting off, talking, you know. I'm guilty of making my videos too long. This one's going to be 15 minutes. But anyways, my loyal subscribers, the ones that have been there for a long time and the ones that are new, thank you so much. So that was another edition of the Alone Zone. Thank you for entering. It is now time for us to part. Peace.